If you want to know which European country has the highest Christmas expenditures, even in relation to its own salary, stay until the end. With this video, we want to talk about the slightly more painful side of Christmas, namely the expenses that each of us incurs in gifts, food, decorations, and more. In our research, we have seen that there are countries in Europe where residents are even willing to go into debt or take out a loan from the bank to support the significant Christmas expenses. In this video, we will provide you with the exact figures in euros of the average expenses of the top 10 countries willing to spend the most for Christmas, and we will also share some interesting trivia. And we start with a Scandinavian country. Number 10. Sweden. In recent years, each Swedish family has incurred an average expenditure of 304 euros on gifts, marking a decrease compared to a few years ago. For instance, in 2020, the average spending was 367 euros. However, expenses related to food and decorations have remained constant at 226 euros. While gift expenses were evenly distributed between men and women, Swedish men allocated a higher expenditure on Christmas food and decorations. In total, the average Christmas expenses in this beautiful Nordic country amounted to 530 euros per household, which corresponds to 17.6% of the average net Swedish salary. Generally, older individuals have maintained the same level of expenditure in recent years, unlike the youth who focused on saving. In the northern part of Sweden, Christmas expenses are generally higher than in the south. To economize, almost half of Swedes have stated that they will forego Christmas lunch or dinner at a restaurant, and also that they will reduce the expenditure on gifts this year compared to the previous one. In fact, 8% of Swedes have said that they will not buy any gifts at all. Number 9. France. The Christmas expenditures of this European country are slightly higher than those of Sweden, totaling 549 euros. Unlike Sweden, these expenditures have remained relatively unchanged in recent years. Many French citizens are also mindful of saving, as more than half of them are concerned about the impact of the economic crisis on the holidays. To address this, 40% of them say they want to buy gifts only during sales, while 24% will only offer gifts to children. In general, expenditures for gifts amount to 322 euros, 120 euros are allocated to meals, and the remaining 66 euros to other expenses such as decorations. In total, Christmas expenditures amount to 22.3% of France's average net monthly salary. And if you are interested in knowing which countries spend more money on Christmas in relation to the average salary, we recommend watching this video until the end. Number 8. Czech Republic. The Czechs are one of the peoples in Europe with the highest Christmas expenditures in relation to their salary. In total, in this Central European country, expenditures reach 560 euros at Christmas, of which 140 euros are allocated to food, 111 to decorations, and 309 euros to gifts. Specifically, 42% of Czechs want to buy toys for children, 38% will purchase household appliances, 27% home equipment, and 23% consumer electronics, such as smartphones or PCs. By the end of December, Czechs will have expended as much as 39.9% of their net salary. How will they manage to afford all this? A small percentage intends to even take out a loan from the bank to cover the costs. It is primarily the younger generation seeking these loans, and they do so without fear because, according to several studies, they have a positive outlook on their future repayment capacity. Number 7. Austria. Almost on par with the Czech Republic, we find this splendid Central European country. Austrians spend an average of 395 euros on Christmas gifts. We haven't found unanimous studies stating the total expenditures by Austrians, including decorations, food, and more. Still, the average of the data we've found indicates an approximate expenditure of 560 euros, equivalent to that of the Czech Republic. However, since the monthly salary in this country is higher than that in the Czech Republic, Austrians spend a lower percentage compared to the inhabitants of the European country we talked about earlier. To be precise, it's 19.9% of the net salary that is spent on various Christmas purchases. Toys, perfumery products, cosmetics, and books are the most common Christmas gifts offered by Austrians, but clothes and sweets are also popular gifts. Only 6% of respondents will place a mobile phone or smartphone under the Christmas tree for their loved ones. Number 6. Spain. Spaniards have a lower expenditure on gifts compared to Austrians but a significantly higher expenditure on food and leisure. The average expenditure for gifts is €270 per household, with the top 3 preferred gift categories for adults being clothing items, books and hobbies, and finally cosmetics and perfumes. Children, on the other hand, are commonly gifted with toys, clothing, and money. Interestingly, Spaniards don't capitalize much on the November Black Friday for gift purchases but rather favor the month of December. Surprisingly, 19% of them await January discounts for gift purchases. Classic in-store shopping is decidedly preferred, with a quarter of Spaniards favoring it over online expenditure. For Spaniards, Christmas holds great significance, considering that 33.2% of December's salary is allocated to Christmas expenditures. In total, the overall Christmas expenses in this country amount to €634. Number 5. Denmark. With this Scandinavian country, there is a significant leap in Christmas expenditures. Danes spend €734 for this holiday, of which a substantial €497 go towards gifts, while the remaining €237 are spent on food, decorations, and travel. However, given the high Danish salary compared to other European nations, Christmas expenditures account for 17.7% of the average net monthly salary. An interesting aspect is that 17% use recycled or reused gifts, and something truly fascinating is that the income bracket you fall into doesn't seem to have any influence on whether you purchase used Christmas gifts or not. This is something done by all income groups. This tells us that in Danish society, there is an increasing focus on sustainable spending. Number 4. United Kingdom. It is very interesting to see how much the British spend at Christmas, and especially to know what they are willing to do not to miss the chance to buy all the gifts they want. Christmas expenditures in the United Kingdom amount to €740, of which 346 are spent on clothing, 115 on food, another 115 on social events, and the remaining 164 on clothing, travel, and hotels. In total, 30.2% of the monthly salary will be consumed in Christmas expenses. The percentage of Britons stating that they cannot organize the celebration they would like because they cannot afford it is increasing, about 25%. For this reason, 38% of Britons plan to turn to credit or loans to finance Christmas expenses. And for many, the cost of Christmas not only impacts the wallet, with 38% of Britons stating that these expenses make them very stressed. 34% of people claim to save throughout the year to afford gifts, while an additional 41% will dip into existing savings to pay for gifts. All this has made us very curious to know about your experience, whether you are British or not. How do you experience Christmas? And what are you willing to do to cover Christmas expenses? Write it in the comments. Number 3. Germany. Like in Austria, in Germany we haven't found exact data on total Christmas expenditures. Making an approximate calculation based on the found data, Germans would spend around €766 overall for Christmas, corresponding to about 28% of their net salary. What we are certain about, however, is the expenditures on gifts, which average a considerable €540. The Germans' emphasis on Christmas gifts is evident from the fact that these expenses are increasing year by year. Highly appreciated gifts include clothing, books, and toys. But the most favored category of gifts by Germans, with 65% of preferences, is food and beverages. On that note, we've made a video about the 10 types of sausages Germans love the most. You'll find the link in the description. In Germany, it's the men who spend more money on gifts. When considering age groups, the older one gets, the more they spend. People between 12 and 25 years old spend an average of €239, while those between 77 and 99 spend €677. Surely, their grandchildren will be very happy. Number 2. Ireland. At the second step of the podium for European countries with the highest Christmas expenditures, we find Ireland. The inhabitants of this magnificent island are willing to spend a whopping 31.7% of their salary on Christmas. To be precise, they will spend an average of €978, of which €582 will go to gifts. But what are the gifts that the Irish prefer to give? Beauty products, books, and jewelry are popular choices, but the two favorite categories are chocolates and, especially, vouchers, the latter being preferred by 60% of the Irish. The big-heartedness of the Irish is also evident from the fact that almost a third of buyers are considering the possibility of completely giving up a physical gift and making a charitable donation instead, while 38% are considering giving an experience this year instead of a physical gift. It is known that the Irish are an educated people proud of their nation. 62% of buyers usually purchase gifts from Irish businesses, and almost 7 out of 10 want to buy Irish food as much as possible for their Christmas celebrations. And if you want to be as good as the Irish and give us a Christmas gift, you can consider the idea of liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking on the bell to not miss any notifications. It would be very helpful for us to spread our channel dedicated to the wonders and society of Europe. Thank you very much. Number 1. Norway. Norway is undoubtedly the country with the highest Christmas expenditures in Europe. Norwegians spend an average of €1070, equivalent to 32% of their monthly net salary. Of these, €540 are for gifts, €210 for food, and the rest for other expenses. A study has shown that the decrease in the unemployment rate has contributed to these expenditures being so high. But what are the gifts that Norwegians prefer to give? In recent years, there has been a decrease in clothing and cosmetics, while jewelry, books, and especially toys have seen an increase. There has been a shift in buying habits in this European country in recent years. Norwegians have generally cut back on more expensive items, except for jewelry, making more thoughtful purchases and acting less on impulse. Another curiosity is that only 19% of the money spent on Christmas expenses was used for online purchases. Norwegians have shown a strong preference for in-store shopping, at least when it comes to Christmas. And did you know that Norway is one of the most Christmassy countries in Europe? If you want to know more, you can watch the video we made on the topic. Now, let's answer another question. What are the countries in Europe with the highest Christmas expenditures in relation to their salary? Here they are. In 5th place, we have Spain, with 33.2% of the monthly net salary used for Christmas expenses. In 4th place, we find Slovakia, with 33.3%. In 3rd place, with 39.3%, there's another Central European country, the Czech Republic. In 2nd place, with 43%, there's Portugal, and in 1st place, Russia, with an astonishing 48.1% of their monthly net salary spent on Christmas shopping. Here are the top 10 countries in Europe with the highest Christmas expenditure. If you enjoyed this video, you might also be interested in other Christmas-related videos on our channel, such as the one about the best European Christmas markets. Well, that's it for this video. Until next time.